What is going on, YouTube, and welcome to Detroit Lions Talk with Mike or Mike. We talk all things Detroit Lions news, rumors, analysis, breakdown, and everything regarding our franchise. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 players who I want the Detroit Lions to take with the 7th pick. Now, in this scenario, there is no trade ups or trade downs. You take the player who is on the table, and I'm simply going to go ranking from 7, least likely, who I want to get to the number 1 guy who I feel the Detroit Lions should take. Now, truth be told, I want to trade back. With that said, this video is not a part of that. All the players that I have here are very good. There is not too much downside to any of these guys. It's just my personal preference. You all could be different. Let me know in the comments section. But if you're not a subscriber, hit that big red subscribe button. Dropping content every day. You don't want to miss out. Without further ado, let's start with number 7. Now, the 7th player who I wish the Detroit Lions would take is Rashawn Slater, the offensive lineman from Northwestern. He's a big body at 6'4", 315 pounds. Tackle. Immediately, if the Detroit Lions got him, he could slide over to the right tackle position, solidifying that offensive line, having Taylor Decker there, Joe Dahl, maybe the question mark, but Frank Ragnow, Jonah Jackson, and Slater would be a immediate upgrade on the offensive line. It'd be one of the best in the NFL. When it comes to DeAndre Swift, you could run the football with a solid offensive lineman, and we wouldn't have that issue regarding Terrell Crosby and Vati Vaitai with that swing tackle. We've been having that question for a couple years now. Who can hold this thing down? That would answer the question. Why do you say this is number 7, though? I feel that there's another tackle who I covet a little bit more on my list here. I think you may know who he could be. Also, I feel like the Detroit Lions could go other routes. Offensive line is more of a strength of a team. I feel with the 7th pick, we have a lot of weaknesses, and we can fill some of that up with the 7th pick. So that would be who I have at 7. Let's go ahead and jump to number 6 on my list, and that is, go ahead and like this video. The more likes you get, the more chance that the video gets out. Chat Sports is monitoring this channel, and they want to see this video get to at least 300 likes. Help me out. Hit that like button. Justin Fields, the quarterback from Ohio State. He's 6'3", 228 pounds. A very good quarterback. Now, he's highly regarded as the top 4 quarterbacks in the 2021 NFL Draft. As you can see, his stats, 2,100 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interception, a long as 65. He is known for being an individual who can take the punishment. He's got a big arm. He can roll out. He can do everything that the Detroit Lions need with the quarterback position. The reason I have him 6 here is we do have a quarterback in Jared Goff, and I think you have to at least supply him with some sort of weapons here. You can't just give him nobody. And I think with Justin Fields, it would be good to pick up the quarterback, and I honestly would have no problem with it. He would be sitting behind Goff. He could develop to be a very good quarterback. I just feel at least give him a weapon or two. You're setting Goff up for failure, but at least get some sort of offensive weapon surrounding them if you wanted to do so. If not, there's defensive players as well. I would not mind at all if the Lions picked Justin Fields, but he is number 6 on my list. Number 5 on my list is DeVonte Smith out of Alabama, 6'1", 175 pounds, wide receiver, big-time playmaker. You look at this man's stats, 117 receptions, almost 2,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, 15.9 average. This guy can make it work playing the wide receiver position. He would be an immediate upgrade for the wide receiver that the Detroit Lions need. We have a lot of free agents out there. We talk about Marvin Jones Jr., Kenny Galladay, Danny Amendola, Mohamed Sanu. We don't have weapons at the wide receiver position. We simply don't. You give DeVonte Smith to the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff can sling that ball, throw it down deep. He did well when he had those weapons for LA. You give him another weapon, and potentially this offense could take part into a very good dynamic receiver for the Detroit Lions. Him, DeAndre Swift, you have the buildings of something. The reason I have him number 5, though, is I do have a wide receiver ahead of him per my ranking. My little issue here is he's 175 pounds, and so that's why I went with another receiver ahead of him. And with the 4th player who I'd like the Detroit Lions to get, Micah Parsons, linebacker, 6'3", 245, Penn State. The guy can stop the run. He is an individual that can help clog the middle regarding getting torched by quarterbacks. Look at our linebacker position. It's a mess. Alex Anzalone, Lonnie Tavai, Jamie Collins, he would immediately be an upgrade at the weakest position for the Detroit Lions. To me, I love Micah Parsons. I know a lot of people may have issue with the hazing. I think he would immediately upgrade that linebacker position, and the defense needs help, and he could be that guy to really start to build this defense the way it needs to be. It needs to be a defense that's somewhat usable in today's NFL. Last year, the Lions' defense was very bad, and the linebacking core was the worst of the whole defense. You throw him in this defense, you're going to be starting to build something for the future. We're in retool mode, rebuild mode. He would be a good piece to start that on defense. His stats show it. 99 solo tackles, 6.5 sacks, 6 forced fumbles. The guy is a playmaker. He can really do it and become a dream for the Detroit Lions for year to come. You know what's frustrating is how the national media likes to tear our team down. Yes, they're not the greatest team in the world, but they like to talk about other teams and kind of just poo-poo the Detroit Lions. Hit that like button so the content gets it out there, because I'm going against the legacy media. They are a juggernaut, and I'm just one guy. And maybe, just maybe, we Lions fans can get our voice heard and more attention positively can come towards our football team. The third player on my list who I'd like the Lions to take at 7 would be Ja'Marr Chase, the wide receiver out of LSU. He's 6'0", 208 pounds, wide receiver. He's a bigger frame, not size, but frame. Thicker. And I like wide receivers that can take a little bit of a beating. The reason I have him ahead of Smith is because of his size. Smith's 175. He is beefier, and I feel like in the NFL, you got to be able to take some sort of punishment. Now, his receptions, 107 for 2,093 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 19.6, and that's career stats. Is not as good as Smith's stats, but I feel, in my opinion, I want the Detroit Lions to be a stronger group when it comes to a more physical football team. I do like Smith's ability. I just like Ja'Marr Chase just a little bit better. Look at their wide receiver core. They have a lot of players on one-year deals. Tyrell Williams, Rashad Perryman, Damon Ratley, who's going to be a kick returner. They also have Quintez Cephas, Geronimo Allison, and Victor Bolden. Yes, the numbers are there regarding the amount of wide receivers, but you do need to get an actual number one. I believe none of these guys are legitimately a number one, so the Lions must go into the NFL draft at least looking and considering if a number one falls to them to take a number one wide receiver, because it is important to give Jared Goff some sort of weapons to really help him out. And I would not be upset if they took Ja'Marr Chase there. With that said, I still have some more individuals I would prefer to have with that 7th pick. My number 2 player who I'd like to have at number 7 is Trey Lance. He's 6'4", 226, quarterback out of North Dakota State. He's a dual threat player with a giant cannon of an arm. To me, he has a higher upside than Justin Fields with almost 3,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 1 INT, and long of 88. I feel Trey Lance could be a really good player for the future of the Detroit Lions if they selected him. No doubt about it, he is raw, but we do have Jared Goff. Jared Goff could be there. He could sit behind him and eventually become a starter for the Detroit Lions, hopefully changing the franchise going forward. We do need to have a quarterback of this team. The reason I have a number 2, though, is I feel the Detroit Lions, they don't necessarily have to get a quarterback in this year's draft. Getting Goff solidified that. And if they decided not to go quarterback, you can go another route for that spot. With that said, if they did get Trey Lance, I think he could do wonders for the Detroit Lions. He would be a really good pick. Now, the longest shot on my list, this is a long shot. The probability is low, but hey, one has got to hope. And my number 1 guy is Penei Sewell, offensive lineman, Oregon, 6'6", 325, a beast among men. If you throw him on the right side, you're looking at one of the best offensive lines in all of football. We do got a decent offensive line. You immediately throw him on the right side, and you can run the football. What do we hear about Dan Campbell? He wants to be a physical football team that can pound the football. You have him on that right side, you'll be able to do that, no doubt about it, and you're going to keep Jared Goff upright. This guy is a young prospect who's extremely talented. He could be a guy to anchor this team for many, many years and eventually be the replacement for Decker whenever they decide to move on from him. Penei Sewell has a ton of upside, and he could have a very phenomenal career. If he fell to the Detroit Lions at 7, I would have to pull the trigger. The odds of him falling at 7 are extremely low, but we've seen mock drafts where Slater has gone ahead, and we've seen mock drafts where the Bengals have taken a wide receiver or the Miami Dolphins have taken a wide receiver, and they push Penei Sewell out. We have no idea what's going to happen on draft day. Many things can occur. We've seen crazier things. Maybe 4 quarterbacks go in the first 4 picks, and Bengals decide to go wide receiver, and that would leave a Penei Sewell possibly at 7 for the Detroit Lions. Still, I want the Lions to trade back. I really do, if there's a good trade deal. Not wanting to do it just to do it, but there has to be a quality trade deal. If the Lions get any of these guys, I'm going to be fairly pleased. There's a lot of quality talent in this draft, but this is my personal favorite. I like to build in the trenches, and I feel if you can get one there, that would be great. Why didn't I go defensive end or defensive tackle? Unfortunately, in this draft, I don't think there's a defensive player outside of Parsons who should be taken at the 7th pick. Maybe if you move back spots, I have no problem getting a Russo, moving back even farther, getting a Barmore. I just don't feel comfortable taking them with the 7th pick. Let me know how I did in this draft. Do you think this is a good 7 players for the Detroit Lions to take a look at? The reason I didn't do Zach Wilson or Trevor Lawrence, obviously, I just don't feel that they're going to be there. Let me know who you think was right. Let me know what you think is wrong. Let's have some fun.